Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is called Meadow at Twilight. And I painted this I'm thinking 6-7 months ago. Sorry I don't have the exact date handy, but I have an archive of some nice things that I haven't shared yet for when I get a little behind. And that was the case this week because I have a show currently running at the Rust Gallery in Whangarei, which is a town I live here in New Zealand. Anyway, I'm painting. It's a bit of hardboard, but it has been textured, and actually it's my second crack at recording here, but I paused around this point on my last attempt. Just to verify that there is a texturing video that's available for everyone to see. So I'll pop a link to that in the description. You can check that out. It's quite an involved process, but one of the issues with with pre-texturing your boards is that the main issue that I see is if you do something really quick and sloppy, you get these big old grooves generally running counter. Like, see, we have this vertical tree we're doing. Imagine a big bump running horizontally through that. It just not a good look. So I devised a process where I have an organic texture that's sort of non-directional. It involves using a palette knife, a bit of crumpled newspaper, and several other techniques. It's all going to be in the video, so check it out. And I usually use black gesso to do that, because if you use white gesso, you get these little peaks, maybe of white that break through. But I do the black gesso, and then I go over it with oil paint, and that actually has a bit of texture as well. So in this case, I went over the black gesso with, it looks like a bit of a yellow ochre / raw sienna, and let me tell you how irritating is that when you order a tube of raw sienna and it's nearly the exact same color as the tube of yellow ochre you're currently using. That's annoying, eh? That's me. That's happened to me. You can't always, that's a good argument for art stores, actually. I always like to unscrew the caps at the art store and have a look at the actual pigment, because you can't go by names. In fact, today's video is working on, which is going to be in the members area next week. I always get into a lot more information about color because I'm actually working in real time, so I need to talk about something. And lately I've been finding a lot of uses for it. You don't see it in this palette, or maybe you do. It could be right next to that yellow ochre. I like to use brown ochre quite a lot. It's a neat color, but you may not be familiar with it because there's a lot of lines of paint that don't carry a brown ochre. I got very enamored. I got me a tube of Old Holland brown ochre and absolutely love it. It's a great color. Old Holland's kind of a premier brand, though. So I saw some brown ochre in the Winsor Newton line, and I thought, awesome. I'll get me 3 tubes of that because it was a better price. Only problem was it just wasn't the same color at all. It's not even the same code. One's PBR7 and the other's PR101. Yeah, which looks like a synthetic code. That's, I think, what I read on the Old Holland today. But whatever it is, it works great. And lately I've been mixing those two together to get something usable. The Winsor Newton brown ochre on its own, it looks very much like the color that you see of the areas that are drawn or painted in here. By the way, that was done with, looks like some burnt umber there. And yeah, we are, the great thing about the textures is that you get most people, when they come in my studio and see paintings done on a textured surface, assume it's brush strokes, which is cool. You know, it's very toothy. However, I don't like it over toothy. You know, I like it just right. And check out that video over there, underneath this one, to see what I mean. This was a good color to support the painting. This raw sienna / yellow ochre type tone. Really good, actually, and this painting came together really quick in the members area. It's about an hour and a half. It is, however, missing the color mixing session, and also the session where I popped my reference up too. Don't know why. Anyway, it's still a good painting, and it pretty much sold it right off the easel a few days after I painted it. So that's always a good sign. And another thing I might point out is that this initial reference photo did not really have that stream in it, and that's a good tip for you. Like, just visualize this without that, and you're going to see, of course, it'll be a bit more prominent when it's light and everything around it is green or whatever. You got a way more boring scene. You just got a bunch of grass, and that's one of the reasons why I love to put in a path or a stream. This one I pretty much just I think I did a quick composition. I have some stream reference that I've used time and time again, but the reason that's not a problem, and that's probably what I really want to talk about a little bit more today, is working with reference and changing things up. It's not a problem because I'm no slave to the reference. I just have reference for inspiration. Now, actually, I'll get into this. We're going to have an ad for the book coming up. I'm going to try and do a new ad this week just to keep you from getting burned out. I really appreciate those of you that have had the patience with the ad. And the book, you know, it's doing pretty good. We're getting a couple out every week, and I'm happy about that. It's getting out in the world. I don't make a heck of a lot. It's 60 bones right now because of the exorbitant New Zealand shipping, but let's sit back and enjoy the very brief ad, and then we'll get into what I want to say about reference in a minute, just afterwards. Hey, do you want to paint tonally? Do you want to paint better? Tired of trying to find the info that you need? There are hundreds of videos on this channel, and you could watch for days and not find the info that you need until now. Introducing my new book, Landscape Painting the Tonalist Way. Everything you want to know about tonalism in one place. Order your copy today, Landscape Painting the Tonalist Way. Links under the video, links all over my site. Yeah, go ahead and get it. It's good. And I gotta say, I mean, I haven't really said this much, but you know, if you're into this kind of thing, there ain't no books. There's one book, okay, and it has no real pictures, okay. It's called Landscape Painting by Burge Harrison. It's a free download online. Go get it. You'll like it. I did. Don't agree with everything Burge says, but hey, I don't agree with everything anyone says. But this is it, man. I did it for you. I did it for tonalism, and I did it for me because, you know, there it is. I've got a book out there. That's a nice feeling too. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about, I know I've talked about reference a lot, but I'm going to give you some solid for instances. Okay, so I'm with a student in my studio yesterday, and she's a very talented lady, and we had a painting set up. We did the drawing stage, like kind of like what you see half of this painting at, and then the power goes out. We were just getting ready to jump in, and it's mostly a sky painting. I had a really cool reference selected with a lot of really interesting colors, and the power goes out, and she's like, and you know, God bless her, she's on the money, you know. She's like, oh, let's just do it. And I'm like, nope. It'll be better with some reference. Now you could say, well, hey Mike, that's you could have just done it from your imagination, and I could have done something competent from the imagination. However, the way that I use reference, I'm always using the imagination, but I have something to key off of. that is not strictly internal. And the problem with, I think, with paintings that are strictly internal, and I don't want to get into any names, and I don't. But there's a very popular painter in Boston who does amazing work. And a lot of my work gets samey, I'll say that, but this guy's stuff is very samey, and no reference is utilized. And this is the reason why. There's only so many archetypical, or archetypal, I think it's archetypal, compositions in your head. You need, and yes, you can work with accidents and do all kinds of groovy things. It's a legitimate way of working. I'm not dissing anyone, but for me, I found when I was trying to do that, that it just wasn't working out. And I'm much better off having something to look at, even if it looks nasty or weird. And that I can riff off of that. I can work with that. I can play with that. And a good example here is I've used the same stream dozens of times. It looks different every time. But it gives me a little something to change things up. It gives me a little something to hang my hat on. And as I was pointing out to another student yesterday, painting is hard. It's not easy. Okay? So any advantage you can give yourself. Now the problem with the reference, of course, we've talked about this a lot, is that especially when you're starting out, the desire to absolutely get everything you can from the photo reference into your painting is unbelievably strong. So much so that I almost recommend you don't fight it. Just go ahead and give in to it. Because that'll be the cure. You'll see these paintings in a few weeks. You may even think, oh, I did a good job of that. That's a good one. And your friends will come up, oh, that looks great. It's awesome. Your mom's going to come up and say, oh, it's the nicest painting ever. You're so talented. But you'll know. One day you'll look at it and you'll know that you messed up. And that you should have left maybe most of that stuff off. Should have just taken a few things from the reference that were touchstones, that were compositional touchstones or color touchstones. You should have taken those things and applied your creativity and imagination using that as inspiration. Okay? That's how reference is supposed to work. Not something you copy, you know. That's why I love to use the same references all the time over and over. And you can say, well, that scene looks very much, he must have painted that before. I've seen something like that before. But if you compare the two paintings side by side, you'll see there's so many differences. It's innumerable, you know. And this is the other thing. You can't even really duplicate a painting. You know, there's this idea when we see all these movies about forgers and stuff that they can do that. 9 times out of 10 when they're doing a forgery, it's of a quote-unquote painting that was undiscovered. Okay, they're not sitting there and forging a painting. Most lay people wouldn't know this. But not sitting there and forging a painting that everyone knows. It's been photographed in great detail, because that would be nearly impossible. It's nearly impossible for you to replicate your own painting, stroke for stroke, especially. Forget about it. You'll never do it. So yeah, hopefully you get some insight into that. But I think having awesome oh, and this is the last thing. I got just a few minutes, couple minutes left. I was a commercial illustrator for 13 years. A lot of you know that. I made really good money at accounts like San Diego Zoo and all the department stores and the zoo, San Diego Zoo, you name it. Now I get a design that comes across my desk. Oh, we need a grizzly bear. What do you think I do? You think I sit there and start sketching some grizzly bear out of my head? No way, man. I get me some reference. And in that case, a lot of times I really can't use the same reference. It's going to have to be something a bit different. I will spend, say I have 3 hours to do the job, I might spend 1 day collecting the reference, because the principle there is garbage in, garbage out. If I got garbagey reference there, it's not inspiring. It doesn't have good, and this is illustration. It's not quite the same with painting. With painting, there's a lot more room for imagination. But illustration, man, it was so important. And that's one thing I took away from my career, is that, you know, having a good bit of inspiration to create my art. It's super critical. Anyway, check out that. If you're getting some value from this, thanks for getting all the way to the end. Appreciate it. I guess click the likes. I guess YouTube likes that. I love comments. Please give me one, even just a smiley face is fine. If you have a little extra dosh and you're getting real value from this channel, throw some of it my way. I have a donation thing on my channel. Also, there's a button here. Or buy a painting. That's my absolute favorite way to be supported. Or buy my book and get it out there. Get the knowledge into your head. Anyway, till I come back with another video, do me a favor, do me a solid. Take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones, and stay out of trouble. God bless you.